I'm going to Kansas City, where I go.
Oh, wow.
They got some crazy little women there, and Oh, hey, welcome back to FS1's The Carton Show. You know who this guy is? Nick Wright from First Things First, which makes no sense since you're on in the afternoon now.
Oh, okay.
But you must love not waking up, huh?
I love not waking up. I don't love waking up to come see my friends Cody and Craig, and then the Chiefs aren't the big story today. There's so many other stories. We can't. It's a great song.
Let me just take a look at that.
Yeah.
No, they're the big story.
They're the big story.
Yeah, Travis Kelce dropping a game-winning touchdown pass. Bieniemy and Mahomes arguing over the last play of the
All right,
first
that one
half.
doesn't bother me. Can I listen? I understand you guys are going to say I'm biased,
Yeah.
and maybe I am biased.
Okay.
However,
so we've established bias.
that's fine. Like I think in our business, you're allowed to be biased as long as you admit the biases. As long as you don't pretend like, oh, I don't root for anyone. No, I root for the damn Chiefs.
Okay.
And they blew a game yesterday they shouldn't have blown.
Yeah.
But the reason I don't feel that badly about it is because it's so obvious why they blew it. Like, yes, Kelce dropped a pass, and that's not typically going to happen. But it was the worst special teams performance I've ever seen from an NFL team. Bucker's out with the injury. They do a stupid fake field goal. They muff the opening punt, all of those things. That part doesn't concern me. I'll tell you the one thing that does concern me. Again, because even though I'm a little biased.
Pardon me for a second. I love when guys that root for teams that win a lot come in here knowing he's talking to a Jet fan, and he's complaining about the 2-1 Chiefs. Oh, they've only been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years. Life sucks.
Well, you brought it up.
Bring it up. You brought it up. Nick, it's the only chance I'm going to get this year to mock you.
Okay, that's a good point. All right, here's the one concern. Serious concern, not to be too nerdy football. The idea of this year's team with no Tyreek Hill was they were going to have one of, if not the best offensive line in the league. So Mahomes is going to have all this time, so even if guys aren't breaking wide open, he would find them. Yesterday, against a good but not great Indy front, Mahomes was under duress the entire game. So they have to clean that up. I don't mind the Eric Bieniemy thing.
I like it, actually.
So do I.
Yeah, that wouldn't bother me at all. And it was one play, and Andy Reid diffused it, after the game. Listen, they weren't cursing at each other. Bieniemy called a run. Mahomes, as you want him to be, is like, no, I can make a play.
We're the Chiefs.
Right, let's go.
And later in the game, Andy, he can diffuse it. They also kick a field goal at the goal line. Like, you got to recognize who you are. And you're a team that I think confidence builds upon itself. So a lot about that game I didn't like, most notably because with the Bills losing, there's an opportunity to really kind of take re-control of the conference. Instead, they both give up a game they shouldn't have.
Yeah, and listen, I think also because you were playing the Colts, right? The Colts got drubbed by Jacksonville the week before. So I know what you and your people were saying. That's a W. Chalk it up as a W.
Absolutely. With that said, Jacksonville might be quite good.
All of a sudden, Jacksonville has now scored 60 points in the last 2 weeks. And Doug Peterson looks like he knows what he's doing. Trevor Lawrence looks like the guy that they drafted.
100%.
And I'm not sure if that's just Trevor Lawrence now figuring out the NFL game. Everyone, it's a cliche now. The game slows down for quarterbacks in year 2 and year 3. Or if it's just a byproduct of they have a competent coaching staff, and that's what happens.
And everyone makes fun of me on First Things First because
for what?
Well,
Why?
I mean, I don't. Jealousy would be my guess.
Good.
But they would say because they think I bring up foolish points about Trevor Lawrence. I always talk about the fact that he was a Gatorade National High School Player of the Year. He was the number 1 player in his recruiting class. He was number 1 player in college. Though we have guys that bust as top picks. You rarely have a guy who's been the best in the country at 15 years old, 16 years old, 20 years old that doesn't figure it out. And the comps I've always drawn is Peyton. Peyton led the league in interceptions his rookie year. Peyton was 3-13 his rookie year. And then by year 2, I think they were 13-3. And I don't think the Jags are going to be 13-3. But before the year, I thought they were going to be a playoff team, but they shouldn't.
Yeah, they're not an easy out now.
No.
And I think in the last 2 weeks, I think they've kind of announced themselves to the rest of the NFL. We're not an easy W.
100%.
You're not going to look at us and say, oh, we're playing the Jaguars this week. Yeah, move the game to London. We'll beat them there too. 100%. which is what we always did, right? So I do think it's a lot of Trevor Lawrence, but I'll give Doug Peterson credit, on that as well.
100%.
Now, the game of the day was not, unfortunately, Tampa and Green Bay.
No.
It was Buffalo, Miami. And I don't want to believe it, and I don't believe it. But Miami's good. They're good. And I can't say they're not good. I like Mike McDaniel a lot.
Because of the Bills' injury in the secondary, their top 2 corners and their top 2 safeties are all out. It was plausible going into the game. Miami could win. I would have never believed they could win scoring 21 points.
Or having Buffalo run 90 plays from scrimmage.
That I've never seen.
And they ran 39.
Unreal.
And to me, that's the story of the NFL this week because I've never seen it like you've never seen it. And if I told you before a game, my team's going to run 90 plays, your team's going to run 39 plays, blindly, who wins the game?
I would assume my team won by 38 points at least.
Right. So I want to give the Dolphins defense some credit. They don't get any love at all because it's always about Tua, Waddle, and of course Cheetah, Tyreek. But that defense is pretty good.
The defense was outstanding.
Yeah.
And in the second half, they only made one. They had one explosive play the final 2.5 quarters of that game. The big throw down the middle to Waddle. Aside from that, that was the defense stepping up. The Buffalo had a 20-play drive. They got 3 points out of it. They had a 17-play drive a few minutes later. They got 0 points out of it. And they stepped up, obviously, at the end. So I like Mike McDaniel. If the defense can just be above average, we've seen that model of average-ish quarterback with awesome supporting cast.
Success.
And success.
And by the way, you're right also. All the little things didn't go Buffalo's way. A missed kick. Allen fumbles a snap on a 4th down. He obviously can't ground the ball. Not getting out of bounds on the last play. Like all the little things you take for granted did not go their way. Now let me get your take on this. That guy got his bell rung. How in the world is that guy playing? Like I get it, because if he says, I got my bell rung, it's a real problem. It's a real problem.
Whatever happened to him, do you have a problem with him going back in the game?
No, because I don't care about their well-being.
Well, here's the thing.
I really don't.
I think I do care about their well-being, but I also think people should, in this spot, be able to make their own decisions once you're far enough removed from the moment. Not like on the field, but he went in the locker room. And by the way,
yeah, but if you do that, it's dangerous because every guy's going to tell you, I feel fine, I want to play. And the NFL has very strict guidelines now. They even have an independent doctor on every sideline.
Of course.
Because you know what the team doctor's going to say. Are you okay? He's okay.
But
so I don't agree with you on that.
Okay, so 2 years ago, because here's why I think it can be dangerous to just diagnose it from the look. If you guys remember the Chiefs-Browns playoff game 2 years ago, the divisional round, Mahomes had a very similar moment. It was, I think, late first half. He was running the ball. He got hit. He got up, and he went to a knee. And it was a playoff game, and they ruled him out. He is adamant. I talked with him about this afterwards, that he did not have a concussion. That it was he had a stinger in his neck, but because he did the leg wobble thing, the independent doctor said,
You're out.
"No, you're out." And it is a playoff game. Now, the Chiefs ended up winning it anyway. And listen, maybe he's not being honest, but I believe him that, because after the fact, why would you lie, that it looked bad, but it was not a head injury. So I don't know if it's fair to just say Tua's, like you seem like you think it's 0% that was a back injury.
Because I've had back problems. I'm not a professional athlete. I acknowledge that right off the gate. But that kind of wobble does not happen because your back seized up. It just doesn't.
Have you ever gotten a stinger before?
No, I can't say that I have.
You can react that way. I've gotten a stinger, and people thought I hurt my head as well. I didn't. It was just something that shot up into my neck, like you just said about Patrick Mahomes.
And I get it. He went in and said to the doctor, clear-headed, I'm fine, I feel good. 2 fingers, 3 fingers, 1 finger, I got you, we're good to go. I want to play. So the doctor can only deal with the information he's got. I'm not even blaming the doctor that allowed him to go play. I'm just saying, I saw the play, you saw the play. You're going to sell me on something I just don't believe. That's all. And by the way, he played fine. Knock on wood, he's got no situation today medically, and he's good to go. But either you have a protocol or you don't. And in this case, he showed signs of a head trauma. And they let him play, and that's a problem.
I guess the devil's advocate argument would be the protocol is if they show signs of it, then go and get evaluated. He got evaluated and got cleared. And the NFL, I give the NFLPA credit because they said they're going to do an investigation. They said, because they obviously want it to be very strict because they want to protect players from themselves. Can I ask you a Bills question?
Yeah.
All right, so I understand the Bills are the 2022 and probably 2023 and probably 2024 Super Bowl champs. The greatest team ever. I get it. No, I understand.
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean? That you get immense credit in this league for almost beating the Chiefs.
Wow.
The Chargers got it and the Bills got it last year.
Wow.
No, you do.
This is the Chief
No,
fan in
no. It's just the realist.
You don't like the fact that the Bills have been anointed AFC representatives.
When I watched the Cowboys kick the Niners' ass every year in the playoffs in the 90s, did I think eventually the Niners might get them? Yeah. But you know what had to happen? The Niners had to beat them for them to be the favorites. And then I saw the Patriots kick the Colts' ass every year in the early 2000s.
Right.
And much like what happened with Buffalo, after one of the playoff games, the league was like, we have to change the rules. It's unfair to these guys. They changed it for overtime for the Bills, for little contact for the Colts. And eventually the Bills will get theirs. I just don't like being anointed before you do it. But here's my question about the Bills.
Yeah.
The Bills, when they're rolling, do look like the best team in football by a mile. They have not won a one-score game in 2 years. And when you saw how they butchered the end of the half, how they butchered the end of the game, how Josh Allen after the game is like just a roller coaster of emotion.
He was crying on Tua's shoulder.
Yeah. Ken Dorsey is supposed to, this guy is freaking out.
I love it.
Just total abject panic. It's like, buddy, it's not even Halloween yet. It's a long season. Is there not a little concern that Buffalo hasn't quite figured out how to win the tough games? They know how to blow people out, but it's hard to blow people out every game in the playoffs. And so it's been a long time since we've seen them win one of these games.
Yeah. So that might be the least objective, most subjective commentary in the history of FS1. Yes, because do you have a Kansas City Chief tattoo?
No, I don't.
No Chief tattoo?
No, just my kid's
You're going to get one now.
And my wife. No, go ahead.
It's
so you have no concern about them in close games?
No, I don't. I think the Buffalo Bills, when healthy, and they were not healthy, as we said, they're missing two of their best defensive players in this game, are the most complete team in football. Now, I don't like them being anointed either. I even said after week one, slow your roll. They played one freaking game. That being said, I know what ugly looks like. I'm a Jet fan. And I know what sexy looks like. I can't give you any team. But the Bills, you know they're that good. And you're afraid of them. That's what this is coming from. Your built-in fear.
Listen.
You stole a game last year.
Oh, get a stop. Get a stop. You had two opportunities to get a stop. One with 13 seconds, and then everyone's like, oh, the overtime rule's unfair. Get a stop.
You're scared.
Get it? Not scared.
I get your dog.
Listen, I have legitimate respect, and Josh Allen
That's
does
the team you're most worried about.
Well,
100%.
Going into the year, I would have said the Chargers, but the Chargers just invent new ways to lose.
Yes, and Herbert's hurt.
Herbert's hurt. Yes, the Bills play the Chiefs in 3 weeks, and that game I'm absolutely scared of. Now in January, until proven otherwise, the Chiefs will beat them. But that's my point is, I don't think there are. For example, yesterday's Packers-Bucks game. I know the Bucks ended up not coming through, but there is a feeling of the Packers are a team like this too. When it's rolling, it's like, my God, is Aaron Rodgers the greatest player ever?
Right.
And then something goes a little awry, and the whole thing, the moment that the Packers dealt with that fumble at the goal line, they didn't do anything the rest of the game.
Right.
One thing went wrong. Brady, you have the exact opposite feeling of it can be awful for 55 minutes.
But if he gets the ball.
Give him a chance.
Yes.
And Buffalo, to me, has not proven they have that element, that they can win a classic. Because they don't. They win blowouts.
They didn't lose that game to Kansas City. You won it.
Oh.
It's like they didn't fold down the stretch of that game.
Oh, I don't know.
They matched you play for play.
Yeah.
You're scared. It's okay.
Hold on. You can't say a team that had a lead with 13 seconds left and lost didn't lose it.
I respect the fear. I do.
Okay.
Because it's honest. And a lot of men lie about being scared.
No.
You've owned your fear. And that you want no part of that team.
No,
what
I'm saying is
you're begging the Chargers to get there.
No. What I'm saying is you're right that the Bills were without a bunch of important players.
Yeah.
That is not why they lost. They lost because they scored 17 offensive points. Their important players were out on defense. They lost because at the end of the first half, they couldn't get it together. They got stuffed on the goal line. That's offense. Josh Allen, who I'm told is the most talented quarterback ever, one hop to pass on fourth down. It's just what I'm told. I read things, I hear things.
Got it.
And then at the end of the game,
Yeah.
they blow the time score situation. They need a field goal to win. I need to see the Bills win a close game. I'd like to see them win a close game.
I'm sure at some point they will, unless they just bully everybody, win every game by 20. Outside of the games, they lose, of course. But I get it. I respect it. I'd love to know what it's like to go into every season knowing I've got as good a chance as anybody to win.
Let me tell you,
because I have no idea.
It's great. It's absolutely awesome.
It must be fantastic, right?
Hey, Nick, at least we're not Raider fans, am I right?
There you go.
Yeah, go Chiefs.
Yeah. Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.